Oh, got love for my brothers and sisters who in the true church. They got faith, they got good works. Got love for my brothers and sisters who in the true church. They got faith, they got good works. Who enjoy in true fellowship, discipling the brethren. I got love for all them. Don't call them, but let me make a distinction. When I talk about the church, I ain't talking about the building. Yes, I'm talking about his children. And Papa ain't.
Hello, this is Calvinist Klein. Welcome back, and apologies that I haven't been around for a number of months. I think it's been about 4. Basically, my computer, shortly after the last video, broke down. I didn't have any means of recording. My wife has a Chromebook, which is not really helpful for recording. You can barely do anything on it. Wasn't going to use my phone because that'd have been terrible quality. And also went through my first semester of seminary, and that also took up a lot of time. Though I would have made time for recording had I had the equipment. So the equipment was really the decisive factor in all of that, and what really hindered me from making more videos. So for this video, and it will be brief, I wanted to finish chapter 1, which is out of Holy Scripture, the ground and pillar of our faith, a biblical defense of Sola Scriptura by David T. King. And in chapter 1, King is discussing the nature of revelation, and he finishes up with special revelation. So I just wanted to finish up that, finish the kind of mini-series that I was doing before. So we will get right to it. And please don't judge me. I have different clothes on and everything. I had recorded sections of this previously in the week because I thought I would be able to post it, but I didn't, so I had to split it up by the day. So that is an explanation for that. God has not only revealed himself to all men generally, but in a special way through all the ages. He is the self-revealing, communicative God who created the very signs and words by which he speaks, making them intelligible to the minds of his creatures. In doing so, God has condescended by an assorted means of revelatory acts to make himself understood by those in his image. The Bible reveals to us that God made himself known at various times and in different ways, Hebrews 1:1, in the self-disclosure of his being, mind, and will. On many occasions, God has revealed himself through the medium of judgmental deeds and redemptive interventions, the flood, the Tower of Babel, the Exodus, etc. At times, he spoke immediately with an audible voice, Genesis 3:9, 12:1, and at other times, immediately and orally through the instrumentality of his prophets. In Numbers 12:6-8, we read that God said, "Hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to him in a vision. I speak to him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. I speak with him face to face, even plainly, and not in dark sayings. And he sees the form of the Lord." A number of Greek and Hebrew verbs are used in Scripture to denote the basic activity of divine revelation. These verbs indicate occasions of special revelation whereby God has manifested himself in his will in diverse ways and at different stages of redemptive history. For example, and King goes on to list Amos 3:7, Genesis 12:7, John 15:15, Luke 26, and he gives the either Hebrew or Greek word behind the word revealed that you see in the text. He goes on, he says, God has condescended by his word and in grace to the capacity of man's understanding by means of his own revelation. Mayer explains, quote, "The Bible brings new dimensions to our experience. The person God calls is one whose eyes see clearly, who hears the words of God, who sees a vision from the Almighty." Numbers 24:3 and following, and 15. He cleanses persons who hear his message and bear it among other hearers, Isaiah 6:1 and following. He places his words in their mouths so they may speak his words in his name, Jeremiah 1:9. He speaks face to face with chosen individuals, Numbers 12:8. He gives revelation, disclosure, apocalypse in seeing and hearing, Revelation 1:1. He explains what is hidden, Daniel 2:22 and 24. He proves he is God and he alone by describing what will take place before it comes to pass. Isaiah 44:7, compare 41:22 and following, and 43:9. End quote. King continues, he says, while God has revealed himself in various ways through special revelation, the principle of Sola Scriptura holds that revelation is now restricted to Scripture alone. God revealed himself orally through the prophets in the Old Testament and Jesus and the apostles in the New, but the only revelation we possess today of the prophets or Jesus or the apostles is that which is recorded in Scripture. The Reformed position rejects any notion of revelation existing in any other source, such as tradition. Roman Catholic theologian Yves Conger has enunciated this principle with respect to the Old Testament revelation. Conger says this, quote, revelation is a disclosure of his mystery which God makes to men, a disclosure through created signs guaranteed by God, not to mislead us, though they may be imperfect. These signs are events, realities, actions, and words, but ultimately, at least as regards the Old Covenant, the events and actions are known to us only in words, and written words at that, the writings of sacred Scripture, end quote. King says, the principle of Sola Scriptura posits precisely the same reality for the New Testament. The revelation of God is known to us in the New Covenant only in words, the writings of sacred Scripture. So that was the end of chapter 1 of Holy Scripture, Volume 1. And I would recommend reading all 3 volumes. I mean, I worked through the first 2, and the third is quotes from the Fathers. I would recommend reading through them. Very rich resources in the argumentation and in the footnotes as well. Also, as you can see, I have a new setup. This is a new mic. I got a new camera mic, lighting setup, which I have no idea how to use so far. I have to figure out how to work with the software that I just was introduced to by my brother-in-law. I will be learning, and hopefully the quality will be better in the future. For future videos, and Taylor DeSoto, who I know from Reform groups and met him in person. He's a great guy. I'm subscribed to his channel, watch his videos, and he had a really good idea, which was to kind of put forth ideas for 2019 that you're going to focus on. I am not prepared to do that right now, but I will be thinking about topics I want to cover. One that's really been on my mind is the issue of the atonement, redemption, accomplished, and applied. Those issues, different issues within the Reformed camp on that, which I did a lot of reading on this year. These are just ideas. I'm going to think of some topics that I can cover for the next year, so I will be presenting that shortly to you all. Thank you guys for watching, and God bless you, and we'll see you next time.